Welcome back to the reality, guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian.
What's going on, everybody?
We are here to talk one of our favorite shows. This is Claim to Fame, season 2, episode 8, Defections, Connections, and Total Perplexion. I am proud of myself. I pulled that one off pretty good. Um, as much as things change, they stay the same on Claim to Fame this season. Um, just a lot of wrong guesses going on this season. Definitely way more than last season. And no surprise at who the wrong guess was about, that being Chris. The surprise for me was that JR, the guesser and now eliminated player, he had at least one person he knew. He knew Carson. He
Right.
knew. I mean, even if didn't know, he kind of broke it down. It's like, well, there's no other NASCAR person besides Jeff Gordon. It's got to be Dale Earnhardt Jr. He was talking that up with Gabriel when they're meeting one on one. Like, okay, we're both basically landing on that, right? And I don't understand why he let people in his alliance talk him into taking a shot. Like, what does he owe anybody else? I'm just perplexed by the gameplay move, honestly, Brian. What are your thoughts on this whole thing?
No, I definitely agree with you. I was honestly expecting like a cutaway, kind of similar to the Alicia Keys discovery, that when he was like, "I'm going to do Chris," that they found something out that maybe he would guess correctly.
Okay, that
That's
makes
that's the
sense.
only thing I thought of, like when he just was like going to take a shot in the dark, and it's just, yeah, I agree. It was dumb. It's very dumb. I'm
I
very ready for the Chris experiment to be over because it's they need it. Like, they're never going to get it with these clues. They're never going to get it.
I think it's
I
a
don't even
learning
think.
experience here for the producers and the right and not no writers, but like the producers here of this show that I think they have to be very careful of the balance too of the contestants and who the actual claims to fame are. Everybody else so far, I think literally anybody would have known, right? Like there are all pretty well known people that, given enough clues, like Jimmy Carter objectively may have been the hardest one so far. And he literally was a president of the United States, right? Maybe Jenny McCarthy,
Yeah,
but
Jenny
she never
McCarthy
got guessed right because of the incorrect guess.
and Dolly Parton.
Yeah,
From
I
what we
thought
saw at that point.
Dolly Parton was again doable with some of the people who were there, right? But
Yeah,
like
yeah. She's
again
big enough.
with it being like, listen, Chris Donnie Osmond. I mean, you look at it, he's an Osmond, and like it's just one of those things. Like it's just like Chris doesn't know JB Smooth is. It's like Monay has probably never heard of the Osmonds. Like it's just some of the flips. So I think next year they got to be a little bit more generic with everybody on who their claims to fame are. I think the degree of difficulty has been a little bit. There's kind of a disparity here this season. I think compared to last season. Do you kind of agree?
I can agree with that. I think just like the clues, I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of gonna put myself in the situation. I would never get it. I would be season 8 and I still wouldn't get it if I was on that show and they just kept going and going. I would never get it.
uh, Chris kind of being the main focus again too of his strategy. He does come clean right away to Gabriel that he did give his clue away, but Gabriel actually had already known. He had eavesdropped on that. One of those classic, again, like we say in this show, cutaways, where we see something that had happened kind of in the background of an event we saw previously. They got in a little bit of a tussle there. He called him pouty and a crybaby, and Chris got as mad as you'll ever see him get. Seen him zipping up his little vest there really
Mm.
angrily. That's just, again, I think as much as we're going to see from him, but they did reconnect at the end. More so probably than for Chris's side, because for strategy, he'd rather have Gabriel, who's been closer to him, around than vice versa with JR. Got what he wanted inadvertently. He wanted Gabriel to take the shot at JR because they knew who he was. But hey, kind of ended up getting what he wanted. Four people remain, Bry. Like I don't I'm very curious. I mean, we saw the wall challenge last year where you put in the clues to the questions, and if it's right, it lights up green. So you're going to get some confirmed information. It looks like Gabriel's days are numbered though, because it looks like everyone's going to figure out that he's Nick Cannon next week.
Yeah, I feel like once you lay down the facts, it's gonna be very easy for him. Probably Carson, they'll probably feel a little better about. I still think it's going to be the JB Smooth. I don't know if they don't know those shows. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna. It's gonna be Monet and Chris. I think.
I think it is Monay and Chris, and then it's just going to have to be. I think Monay may have the edge there. She definitely showed herself to be the pop
Yeah,
culture connoisseur in the challenge, which I really like the challenge. It's a challenge for me. Like I knew all those ones. I
yeah.
was
They
like, I
did.
was
They did though. They did the same thing last season, but it was one where they had to like run out. You remember
yep,
that?
yep.
I like this one a little better
Me
because
too. Me too.
oh
There's a
cool.
memory aspect to it. If you can
Yeah, I
remember where
like it.
certain people were, then you had an
Yeah,
advantage.
right.
I thought it was cool.
Really, yeah, Monet really impressed me. I think that I think she could get it if she keeps getting clues. I really do. If like they just slip one in there, like rhymes with this, or maybe a deeper connection. You never know. Because like if she said she worked with celebrities with her dad, or it's her dad, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm rooting for her. Honestly, that's I liked what I saw from her today. I think she's my number one.
I did like in that challenge though. The what are the odds? She won 4 out of the 5. The one that Carson won was her
Yeah,
clue, and it was the most giveaway clue
it
of all
really
time.
was. It really was.
My his late father.
Right, right.
Like that was it. I mean, she would have automatically been the guess if that
Oh yeah.
just shows like how that challenge really can really swing the momentum of the game. I don't think she's going to win. She's not going to make it to the end. But the fact is, that clue got out over.
Oh, she's done for sure.
Um, yeah. Look, I mean, overall, I think this was a pretty solid episode. I said I really liked this challenge. I just didn't like the decision making and the gameplay here. There's no reason to be loyal to an alliance when you're down to the final 5 and you only literally have to make it 2 more episodes to get to a
Right.
finale. It just to me doesn't make any sense at all.
They almost need to get Chris needs to be in the bottom two or Monet. Well, Monet, she just wouldn't pick Chris. You know what I mean? Like,
If it's interesting to say right now, though, but Chris doesn't. This is that again. The problem is they just don't know who he is. But I don't think they realize. I don't know if they all think that like realize that he doesn't. If Carson wasn't there, if they can get rid of Carson and it went down to a final 3 where it was Gabriel, Monet, and Chris, like Chris doesn't know who either of them are right
right,
now. Now, again, I think this challenge next week is going to change that for Gabriel, for basically everybody. It's just going to be out there. There's only 4 of them, so there's really no way to sect off anyway. It's I'm just interested to be like, what is a clue that would give away JB Smooth to someone who barely knows that? And what would be a giveaway for someone for Donny Osmond who doesn't really know who the Osmonds are, right? It is going to be like, is
yeah,
someone, I almost think someone of the other 2 is going to have to drop a name into one of the other 2's ear at some point. I don't know how else, or are they going to bring old contestants back? Like, how does that even happen?
yeah. They'll probably if they kind of are doing the same thing blueprint as last season, so they'll definitely come back. Like you said, I think it was Jane, right? She's the older one.
Jane will know who it is instantly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's unless Chris doesn't know, like I know they showed that preview, like that could be a smokescreen, like, oh, we all know who you are, and they don't. Maybe it's just Monet. You know what I mean? Because
One is
she
enough, though.
don't
She gets
know.
put up
Yeah.
at this point.
So I don't know. That's the interesting part about the guessing next week because it's really just final who's in the bottom two.
Yep,
If you
exactly.
know if everyone's kind of like you don't know where they are. And just back to your JB Smooth clue. I mean, if you didn't watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, you didn't watch some of these other shows in the end, or like he's in like that DraftKings commercial or MGM with the
Yeah, yeah.
mayonnaise. Like, you don't really know. At least he's more. I mean, he's in your face at least presently now. Like
One of those guys that it's going to be someone like Chris who will see who is like, oh, that guy. You know what I
it's
mean?
just
And
that guy.
it's going to be tough. So I'm looking forward to it. It
Yeah,
was a good episode. A good solid start to the week. We got a few more episodes, I think, I guess, of that to go. We're not going to be happy to see that one go. Make sure you like and subscribe here on TikTok and YouTube. We have a bunch of stuff going on both platforms. Coverage on TikTok that you aren't really getting on here on YouTube. A lot more 60-second reviews like Brian does of Love and Hip Hop and Love Island. Clips of episodes. Brent's been doing a bunch with Big Brother and the Challenge. I've been having stuff up about Below Deck. Vanderpump, all types of Bravo shows. So make sure you check out TikTok. As far as the YouTube, we have a lot of things coming to a head over the next few weeks. We will see the end of The Bachelorette season 20 within the next 2 weeks. Claim to Fame will, like we said, obviously this video will be done within the next few weeks. Also, we will see the end of Temptation Island and The Big D season 1. We did just get a premiere, like I mentioned, of Big Brother and The Challenge. Brett will be doing weekly or twice a week reviews on there, so take a look out for there. The Ultimate Fighter, the Conor McGregor season that we did periodically cover, we'll get the season finale review and season review from Brett, possibly Kevin. And like I said, myself and Brian there for everything and anything in between. Like I said, make sure you're subscribed here on TikTok and you won't miss anything. But for myself and Brian, until the next review, thank you. Peace.